It's about to get Gabby AF.
We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. It's nothing less, cause you rockin' with the best. Now we about to get Gabby AF.
Hello and welcome to the first Gabby AF of 2024. Happy New Year, everybody. It is so exciting. And we've had some pretty amazing guests the past few weeks, from Mickey James to Deonna Purrazzo to Eddie Kingston. If you haven't listened to them, go back and have a listen because they're pretty awesome. But I mean, there are some things that have happened this week that I think I need to talk about. I got to give you guys, I got to talk to my friends here and talk to my people on Gabby AF because, you know, maybe some exciting things have happened that we do need to talk about. And we're starting the new year off with a bang. So it's just me today and producer Tony across the way who's coming in strong with me. So let's get started. So many exciting things to happen. So many exciting things to kick off this new year. And we got to start, I don't know, what do we think? Monday night with the return of a pretty big name.
I mean, can you smell?
Producer Tony.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Remember that? No?
Holy shit. Like, there were the rumors swirling, you know what I mean? And then you had the returning champ, and then Jinder walks out, and everybody's like, oh my God, the gasps of Jinder, because they all thought it was going to be The Rock, and he came out. And I actually think he did a great job with like getting a lot of heat on himself and doing like the long-winded promo and everyone booing and being disappointed that it wasn't who they thought it was going to be. And then boom, the fucking music for The Rock hits. And I was sitting at home watching with my roommate, and I kid you not, we're watching and she goes, holy shit. And I was like, dude, that's how I feel. Like, you said it before me. And I will never not get goosebumps when The Rock comes out and I hear the reaction from the fans wherever he is, because it's so overwhelming and it's just such an exciting thing to witness. Even from home, it's like you're there because you can feel it erupting. And it was awesome. Like, it was amazing. It was so cool that was Raw day one, and you're going to start off the year with The Rock just showing up. And then he hit that promo. And he finished by saying, you know, where am I going to go? Maybe I'll sit at the head of the fucking table. He didn't say that. He didn't curse. I cursed because that's how excited I got with what he said. But, I mean, I just can't believe that that's how we're starting the year, and that there's a real possibility that we're going to see The Rock at WrestleMania this year, possibly facing Roman Reigns. And there's a lot of mixed reviews on people saying like, well, what about Cody? What's going on with this? You know, I think that there's still a lot of time to make it make sense. I also think we shouldn't jump the gun just yet, because he mentioned it, but it doesn't mean we're definitely going to get it. You know what I mean? They're good at giving us the teases because everyone loves a good tease, Tony. Everyone likes that.
You said that they didn't curse. You know who did curse was probably Cody Rhodes, and any Cody Rhodes fan that was expecting the story to be finished at WrestleMania. Not that we're still not going to get that. I think that's still very much to play. We better. I mean, I think that's the story. We got to see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I just want to know: do you put Rock and Roman at Perth in Australia? Do we get that match night one WrestleMania? Where do you think they go with this possible Roman Rock match?
I mean, if that's the story they're building on, I don't see how you can't have that at WrestleMania, because that, business-wise, nothing makes more sense than Rock and Roman. Rock, I mean, within the next morning, he was already over 1 million views of him just showing up on Raw day one. Like, you're going to talk about like just household names, business bringing in, like that's Rock Roman. That's what people have been chomping at the bit for, even since WrestleMania last year, when it was like a little rumor flying. So like, I don't think it would make sense to put it anywhere else besides WrestleMania, but I'm also a newer fan, right? So do I know who The Rock is? Yes. That wasn't my guy growing up, whereas my guys right now that I'm obsessed with and I watch are the Cody Rhodes, are the Roman Reigns, are the Rhea Ripleys. Like, these are the people that I've watched my entirety of being a fan. So that's where my investment lies. Of course, I know who The Rock is, and it's an amazing thing, and the John Cenas of the world, and like, yeah, they're amazing, but I don't deem it necessary for me to be excited to watch WrestleMania to have The Rock there. I just think with how heavy the WWE is hitting right now, with Punk being back, Randy Orton's return, like, you have so many big players that I don't think it's needed to do well. Like, I really don't. Like, I just think Cody is the fucking guy.
Cody's the guy. And you mentioned business. I mean, that's the thing. WrestleMania sells itself. They can sell out a WrestleMania right now, generally without even announcing a match, right? They announce it a year in advance. Right. They already start selling tickets. You've made your money on Mania. Obviously, you're not selling pay-per-views anymore. You're selling Peacock subscriptions for the PLEs.
Right.
But there is a big show in Australia you do need to sell out, and that you do need to sell tickets. And that's a really big stadium. And I know that doesn't mean as much to us here in America, but again, WWE is a worldwide property, and they're always trying to expand.
I think people would be pissed.
Who would be pissed?
You don't think people would be pissed
if it was in Australia?
They were buying WrestleMania tickets and they didn't see Rock Roman and they were somewhere else?
But do you still get the Rocks doing something else at WrestleMania, or is it just a one-time thing?
I don't know. I mean, that's the question, right? All Rock did was show up and make that one mention of it. So we don't know what's to come next. What I do know are the people that I see on my screen every week, and that's Cody Rhodes. That's CM Punk now. That's these big players that I'm getting excited about. I like what's going on with Drew McIntyre. I love the shit with Judgment Day and Damian Priest. So, like, these big players of what's happening, we haven't even hit the Rumble yet to see who's going to win that and move on for, you know what I mean, for a championship opportunity at WrestleMania. So there's so much that can happen from this. But I will say, and this is my opinion, this is how I feel, I know why Rock Roman makes sense, but they're going to have to do a lot to make me as emotionally invested in that as I would be in Cody winning.
Yeah, and I think I'm seeing a lot of the same feedback, because again, like you mentioned, a lot of the WWE fans now did not grow up watching The Rock. It's this, right. and Cody is the guy. I mean, look at Cody. Look at all the children at the arenas with the signs.
I can't. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was telling you. I went to the holiday show at MSG, and it was, first of all, amazing experience. Like, I haven't been at MSG in a minute. I haven't been to a WWE show that wasn't WrestleMania since 2019, when WWE made their return to MSG, and I went to like a random SmackDown. And I didn't even really sit in the stands because I went with Mark, and we were like backstage. That's when Mark worked with the WWE. So like, that's how long ago it was. And we went backstage, and it was kind of just more of a learning experience for me, because I had just really gotten my job. And so it was very different because I didn't know a lot. Undertaker was there. Okay.
That's I was at that show.
It was. And that was,
I was in the stands. I was in the stands. I wasn't backstage. I wasn't big time.
And I remember I was backstage, and the wrestlers were like, get in the stands for the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I watched it, and I was like, what is this? And this is going to be my life for the rest of my life. Like, that was when I knew shit was cool. And that's how long it's been. So I didn't know what to expect. And I brought my friend, who's like a casual fan, very casual. Like, she used to watch, doesn't really watch anymore. And the energy of that show, the amount of children I saw at that show, it was, first of all, sold out, packed arena, just everything. Like, the chance for Rhea, like when Jey Uso came out, I've never seen someone get a crowd on their feet moving like Jey did, because they're so into him. Sami Zayn, like, they fucking love them. And that was amazing. But of course, you know, and obviously Punk was there. That was great. But Cody comes out, and there's just nobody like Cody. And I'm not saying that because we all know how I feel about Cody, and I love that man, and I think he's an amazing person. But like, I don't see anybody anywhere as beloved and as much of a face for a company as Cody Rhodes is, and what he does for the kids, stopping as he walks in and out, taking pictures. And like, we left MSG, and we walk around the corner. We were going to like a bar, and we're going to go hang out. And I'm like, the line of people right outside where the superstars were leaving, children being held up in the air to have things signed, that Cody Rhodes was standing out in the cold after he had just wrestled, after he had just been there all day. And they're traveling to Boston the next day. Like, they were not there, you know, flying home, like relaxing. Like, they were going to the next holiday show right away. He's standing out in the cold, and he is signing children, signing autographs, taking pictures, doing everything.
He's signing the children.
People were like this. I'm not kidding. People were like, give me your kids and pass them forward if you want something signed. Because Cody was standing out there. I don't even know how long he was there for, but he was there for a while, because it was a while that we had walked by. And there's nobody I've seen, and I've been to a lot of companies, a lot of shows, like, there's nobody like Cody Rhodes. And that man needs to be a champion, because he is a champion even without a belt or without a title. And like, he's just he is the guy. Look at what just happened. And this is also a side note, and I told you about this, but you know, I don't know.
Again, this is the story that you've been telling now for almost 2 years. Again, going back to his WrestleMania debut against Seth Rollins, tearing the bicep, failing against Roman last year. I think the consensus among most WWE fans is they want to see Cody finish the story. And again, you're building a new generation of fans right now. Cody's going to be their guy.
No, I completely agree. And speaking of children, I don't know if you saw this on social media the other day, but with the wrestling club, which is it's like a club in this middle school in Brooklyn that's awesome and it's amazing, and they watch a lot of pro wrestling, and sometimes there's a lot of videos where the wrestlers go and talk to the kids, which are like my favorite videos ever because the kids cry and like they're so excited and it's just amazing. But they put out a tweet that they're like trying to sell and donate like popcorn because they are trying to go to WrestleMania 40. And lo and behold, I see, speaking of Cody Rhodes and what we're saying, and Cody Rhodes is for the kids, Cody literally quote tweets and says, I could buy a bunch of popcorn, or I could just tell you, I got your tickets and hotels, you're going to WrestleMania 40. I saw that and I was like, give this man every title possible. Like, how do you not love him? Like, it's just not even normal how much he does for pro wrestling without just being a great pro wrestler, which he is, and being great on the mic, which he is, and showing up every week. And just, he is the ultimate babyface champion that I want to see. And he deserves that time now more than ever. And I don't think anyone can carry this company better than Cody Rhodes. And no matter what happens with The Rock, with Roman, whatever, throw it all at me, I won't be happy until Cody Rhodes is my champion in WWE. It's just that's simple. That's simple.
I'm not going to lie. As much as we need to see Cody beat Roman and finish the story, I also wouldn't be opposed to seeing Cody beat The Rock. Is that something that's out there?
1,000%. Guess what? You know what would be even better?
Triple threat.
Let Roman beat The Rock. Let Roman beat The Rock, because I think it makes sense for Roman to beat The Rock if you want to make Roman out to be this guy. Because if he loses to The Rock, there was no point of the bloodline, in my opinion, because you're not the best. And what was the point of you holding on to it as long as you did? He has to beat The Rock. And then guess what? Have Cody beat fucking Roman then. And be like, guess what? Okay, not only am I the best, I just beat you, which means I ultimately beat The Rock too, because you just beat him. Why not? Make Cody even bigger than he is. And then like have The Rock be like, well, you didn't beat me. And then let him beat The Rock again. I don't give a shit. But I want Cody to win everything.
Everything. I want it all.
Everything.
So do you think Cody...
That man deserves the world.
He does deserve the world. And I think it's funny because I don't think we've come into a Royal Rumble season where there's so many possible outcomes like this since maybe like the Attitude Era, where you had a Stone Cold, a Rock, a Triple H, a Kurt Angle, like where it could literally be any of those guys winning. It could be Cody Rhodes. It could be the Randy Orton. It could be CM Punk. It could be The Rock. It could be,
we don't even know what surprises are going to show up. It could be any, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what other people are going to throw into the mix because, Andrade is going back to the WWE apparently. Like, there's so many things happening and exciting things happening, which is a great time to be a fan. I hate saying that because it's such a cliche.
Just a great time.
To say. But what a time to be alive. What a time to be a pro wrestler.
Now, you were at the holiday show. You got to see a pretty historic moment. CM Punk's first WWE match in a decade. You were there. What was that like? What was that energy like?
I mean, the crowd loved him. He looked great, I thought. It was awesome. And he cut the promo after his match, which obviously it wasn't live, it didn't air, but he said like, I'm just like, you think this is me telling my story, but like, I'm just getting started. And he said he's going to win the Rumble and he's going to go to WrestleMania. That's what he said. And I kind of believe him at some points because I want Cody to win the Rumble, obviously, but I don't know. And then you see Punk come out and you see the reactions from the fans and everyone's like, he's winning. I was sitting next to people. This is also, I love going to wrestling shows because fans want to talk about what they think is going to happen. Everyone has the answers, and I made friends with the people next to me. And they were like, Punk's winning the Rumble. And I was like, you think so? And they were like, 100%. Like, they were so set. And then he came out, and I was like, maybe they're right, But then I see Cody on Raw, and I'm like, Cody's winning the Rumble. And it's one of those things where it's like, what do you really want to see happen? Because if the story's good, I don't give a shit who wins and does this, because if it makes sense, I want it to make sense. But I mean, who do you think it's going to be? Cody? You think it's going to be Punk?
Oh my God. Because again, you don't necessarily need to win the Rumble to get a world title shot, because there are two.
Right.
And I think a lot of people assume we're going to see CM Punk, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And we've already gotten that tease with the promo in the ring. So does Punk need to win the Rumble to set up that match? And to me, shouldn't The Rock have to kind of earn a title match? How does he get to just, I don't know how I feel about people just cutting the line. Well, he's The Rock, but he just gets to cut the line. I feel like he should have. It's been a minute since he's wrestled in a WWE ring. I mean, does The Rock need to win the Rumble to face Roman? I would love to see The Rock show up at the Rumble. I don't know about you. I want to see a Final Four of The Rock, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and LA Knight, and really have the crowd guessing, man, this could go, and anyone could win this at this moment, because you can build a story.
I get it. I think I'm in the minority when it comes to LA Knight, because people are obsessed with him. Like, he comes out and the chants are everyone loves him, and I don't dislike him, but he's just not at the level of emotional investment that I have for Cody, that I have for what I want to see what's going on in Punk, that I have for Orton, that, you know what I'm saying, that I have for Roman. And what's interesting too is if Cody does win, I think the kind of champion we're going to see is so different than what we've been seeing with Roman. Like, we don't see Roman every week. We don't even see Roman wrestle all the time. Like, Cody's a workhorse. He's wrestling, he's promoing, he's doing signing. Like, he's everywhere. He's involved in everything. So at what point are you going to say that's who we're putting the company on the back of? Because Roman's fucking amazing and he's awesome when I watch him, but I don't see him all the time. So how much longer can I be invested in you as, like, unless you're going to switch it up, but like, if it's Rock Roman, that's going to be the biggest thing for what we're going to see moving forward. But I mean, Roman to me is starting to become like, I'm giving in to the people that are starting to get mad that we don't see him all the time, because I wasn't always that person. I was like, he's such a strong champion, we don't have to see him all the time. But when you see these other people putting in the work and really growing as a face of the company, I would rather them hold the title than someone like Roman.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were both up at WrestleMania last year, and I think we were both just completely speechless when we saw Cody not beat Roman last year. I think that felt like the moment that night. His wife and kids were in the crowd. I feel like you can't pass on that moment again. It's Cody's time. We've talked a lot about Cody today, but that's because this is the guy that's going to carry the company into the next, I think, decade as the guy. Like, they're looking for their next Cena, their next Roman, their next this. It's Cody, and we can't have The Rock coming around ruining these plans. We just can't have it.
I know. Like, who does The Rock think he is? You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing too. Who does he think he is coming back as fucking jacked as he is? Okay, and that's just a side note. Everyone that's been returning to WWE has been looking so, like, jacked up. I can't even take it. First, Orton, which I love, but AJ Styles came back too, looking like, holy shit. He's been, like, insanely working out because he was jacked up. And then you got The Rock, and I'm like, The Rock has trap muscles on his traps. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And I was dying because I'm like, this is my kind of these are my kind of wrestlers that I like to see. You know what I mean? Like, but also, like, how old is The Rock?
Oh man, he's got to be around 50, right? I mean, are we going to age him here? I mean, it's just a number, right? I mean,
he doesn't age to me, but he's 51 years old. Look at that. 51.
I mean, Nick Aldis is the GM of SmackDown now. He also happens to own a supplement company. I don't know. Can we put some math together? Maybe a little legacy subs helping out the roster there.
Nick Aldis is also jacked up, but
most jacked GM ever.
We haven't seen in a while, and like, I understand he's in Hollywood and he's doing all these things and he has, like, the image of being that way, but I haven't seen him, like, out and about in a while to really see how big he is, and I, like, forget, you know. And then he came out and I was like, Jesus, like, holy shit, he makes some of these guys look like boys, which is just insane to me. Like, so it's just funny, but it's gonna be my favorite kind of Rumble, where I think there's going to be a lot of meaty men in the mix, and that's
a lot of meat.
Man meat. You got Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest is a big boy, like Gunther, obviously, but I am always a big fan of the big boys. That's my kind of matches, and that's my kind of Rumble, and I'm excited for it. Not to mention, if we want to talk about it, we'll get into the women and the strong women that we're going to see, because Rhea is a beast. Like, even I forget until I see her in person, and I saw her at the holiday show, and just how fucking over Rhea is, because she had a match with Ivy Nile and Shayna Baszler, and before they even got, it was a triple threat. Obviously, Rhea was coming out last. She's the champion. Before they even got to announcing Rhea, the crowd was chanting "Mommy." She's so strong. She's just so fucking aggressive. I love her so much. I don't want to see her lose ever. That's just how I feel about it. So whoever she's up against at Mania, like, I just hope she wins. I don't even care who it is. But then now, too, on Raw, we had that great match between Nia and Becky, where Nia got one of the biggest wins, I think, of her career that I've seen, like beating Becky. And it was a good fucking match. And Nia looked awesome. And Nia's also another powerful woman. So I'm like, seeing these kind of people on my screen every week, it's really making me happy to see, because growing up as like a female who maybe didn't have the, you know, the perfect body or the stereotypical body, and like kind of really being more of an athletic build, I love seeing these women getting the shine and doing so well, because it has to be good as a role model for other young girls watching. And there's like a lot of young girls that watch the WWE. And, you know, you have a daughter. Yeah. It's kind of cool to see these different body types like shining and doing so well, because it's 2024. There's just so many cool things happening right now that the Rumble, which is so close, which is my favorite pay-per-view, I say this all the time, is going, like, I don't know how people aren't going to watch it. You could be a fan or not of WWE. I don't know how you don't watch the Rumble. It's just so fun and it's so exciting. I want to do like a live watch party or something.
I think we should put this out for the listeners, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners have been part of a Royal Rumble pool. I don't know if you've ever been part of a Royal Rumble pool.
I've never.
Okay, well, maybe that's.
Is that like betting?
It's
and stuff?
like
it's
kind of like fantasy football betting. It's like, so again, it's you set up a list of. I mean, I have to go through the official rule book. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but you basically predict when people are coming out in the Rumble. Kind of like, it's more like Super Bowl squares, I think, is probably the more apropos. So maybe we do a live watch along, maybe a little Royal Rumble pool, maybe there's a giveaway. I don't know. Let's get some feedback. Let us know. Hashtag Gabby AF.
Do you want me to just videotape me and my friends drinking, watching the Rumble, and see our reactions?
Live YouTube, a little live YouTube, live Instagram.
Like, yeah, and we can make like a drinking game of it, and like take a shot if this person shows up, take a shot if this person wins, or take a sip of this. Like, listen, I always love a good drinking game. I don't know, and you don't have to drink to enjoy, but it just makes things way more fun, if you ask me. But I always have a Rumble like party at my house, like a pre-party, because I do have some casual fans that are friends. I have friends that are fans. But I always tell my friends, I'm like, if you don't like wrestling, watch the Rumble, because even when I watched the Rumble and I didn't know about a lot of people coming back, when you see the reactions of the people in the crowd, it makes you excited, or like it makes you hyped up, because you see how hyped up they are. And it's just such a cool time to watch wrestling and to get into it. In my opinion, I just love it so much.
What are your...
Maybe we'll do something. Let me know what you guys want us to do for sure. Reach out and hashtag Gabby AF and tag me. And let me know, and we'll figure something out. We got a couple weeks, so
I was gonna say, what are your surprise? You have any surprise predictions for the Rumble, or should we save that for a later show? Maybe that's something that
we gotta wait a little bit. Maybe week of, I'll give some my predictions, because I'm still teetering on some stuff, and we still got a couple more Raws and a couple more SmackDowns before it happens. So, I mean, another thing that just happened. Speaking of which, you know, we just spoke to Deonna Purrazzo. I was actually at AEW Dynamite last night because it was Jersey. You're welcome. Great Jersey crowd, by the way, because Jersey does everything right.
Yeah,
but pizza and bagels and pro wrestling. But that like debut of Deonna in AEW rocked the house. Like, I was so happy for her. She looked fucking amazing, and I thought the way that they executed it was perfect. You had the Mariah May debut, which people were anticipated, and she beat Queen Aminata, who I also love, by the way. And that was a great match, and you knew Mariah May was going to win. It was her debut with AEW, and then she's talking shit about Jersey, as everyone likes to do, and then out comes our Jersey girl, Deonna Purrazzo, and it was perfect. It was a perfect spot. Her promo hit. She's coming after Tony, which I fucking love because why not? You know what I mean? You need somebody like a big player like Deonna who's been around, who has the experience, who's fucking awesome. And it's a great pickup for AEW and Tony Khan. Deonna Purrazzo can really, really contribute a lot to that women's division, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do. And this is what I want. If she build up this feud with her and Tony, because I think it could be really great. And when she wins, because she's from Jersey and she will win, welcome back, Britt Baker. Are you going to be friends with the champion, or are you going to now go up against your best friend who's the champion?
I mean,
because that'll be interesting because Britt's she's out for a little bit. And I want to see if it's going to be all fun and games or if you're going to be like, bitch, this is my title. This is my company. Who do you think you are? Or let's pretend to be friends and see what happens.
I'm going to say there's no better test to a friendship than seeing a supposed friend of yours come in and maybe steal a little bit of your shine, a little bit of your spotlight. Again, is Britt going to be happy to see Deonna Purrazzo in the title picture when she's been notably absent from it for quite a while now? Is she going to try to side up with her, kind of like she did with Jamie Hayter, and try to glean some of that championship shine off of her? We got a lot of possibilities. Hey, listen, as a fellow Paisan, very happy to see Deonna Purrazzo. She was lighting it up over in TNA Impact, and I'm sure a lot of people were. If you were sleeping on her in TNA Impact, you're in for a treat now because I think it's the greatest signing, in my opinion, for the women's division in AEW history.
So I think I would agree that it's probably the best signing when it comes to the women's division for sure for AEW because there's so much you can do with her now, and there's so much. She's a veteran to me, and what she did when she was released by the WWE with TNA and with Impact, like she completely reinvented herself. She made the Virtuosa what it was. So now I'm just so happy for her because, she's such a good person, and I say this about a lot of people, but I actually don't say this about a lot of people. I'm blessed to know these people personally, but she deserves this more than anything because she will shine in AEW and in a division where they're bringing up newer stars, but you kind of need people like Deonna to get in the ring with them and, make them better and also shine on their own in themselves after what they've done. I don't think there was a lot left for her to do in Impact. I think she kind of did everything that she could, and she loved Impact. And you could tell every tweet from the women in Impact were emotional, were happy for her, and they love her because she's beloved. And that's how close they were in the company. But business is business, and you have to sometimes move on for yourself to shine in the best ways that you can. And I think it's a great, great move for her, and it's a great move for AEW. And the way they went with it with her in New Jersey was just the cherry on top because it was perfect. And she looked amazing. And I'm excited to see how Tony's going to respond back to the Jersey girl because Tony's also hilarious. And it's not Wendy Richter like she wanted in the press conference, but it's Deonna fucking Purrazzo, okay? So don't mess with the Jersey girl. Don't piss us off.
Was Wendy Richter a Jersey girl? I want to go back and look now because maybe that was a hint.
Oh, shit.
That's probably not, but that would have been a nice little.
There's no.
I was going to say that'd have been a nice little Easter egg, like if that was a little tease, like a fellow Jersey girl. But
she's from Texas.
Well, way off. Okay, so way off. There you go. But Deonna Purrazzo, 2-time knockout of the year. Again, multiple just like high level matches with a Mickie James, with a Tasha Steelz, with a Jordan Grace, with Trinity. I mean, again, like you said, there's not much more for her to accomplish there.
Right.
AEW's women's division has needed this kind of like shot in the arm, in my opinion. And you're bringing in, you've got women like Taya, you've got women like Toni Storm. I mean, they've got a really, really deep women's roster. And now I'm very excited to see, again, what a Deonna Purrazzo brings to the table because now you're going to get a high quality match anytime she steps in the ring. Yeah. And listen, I'm always for Italian-American representation. I'm going to be posting that meme a lot. And I mean, she was amazing to have on our show 2 weeks ago.
Forget Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets out. Deonna Cutlets.
Okay? This is for Deonna fucking
Deonna Cutlets.
Everyone knows her best friend is Britt Baker in real life. Everybody knows this. And we're missing Britt. We're missing Jamie Hayter. I don't know what's going to be going on with Thunder. Now that Thunder's back, but there's so many things that can happen. But for me, always the emotional investment. Because I'm a girl, the best friend angle is always my favorite thing to do. So, and I think they kind of, even with Britt, before she took the time off, and she was doing a lot. Britt was kind of doing everything every week, and she's kind of been up against everybody, and it's all kind of, what were they going to be coming back with Britt for? She's the DMD. Everybody knows her, and she was such a big part of the women's division. Now you can do something new and refreshing with her. I think it's going to really, really, I don't want to say refresh, but it's going to be like a nice spark to do new things. And I think it's going to be awesome. And I think it's going to push other people in that division to do even better, because they're going to be like, damn, you never got the motivation to go until someone comes in and really like hypes you up that you got to do better. Deonna's one of those people, because you don't want to fuck with her because she knows what she's doing. So if there was ever time to be like, I got to get my shit together and I really want to come forward and do stuff, it's because you bring somebody like Deonna into the picture. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be great things for her. I think 2024 is going to be an even bigger year for her.
We also have a very, very big development in AEW. The Undisputed Kingdom. We got the reveal of the Devil, Adam Cole, which, I don't want to say that was the expected outcome of that. There were so many names tossed out there. Maybe the most logical one. I think a lot of people assumed.
I think it made the most sense. It was
I think a lot of people assumed MJF was going to be the one to turn on Adam Cole at some point. But if you watched NXT and you remember Undisputed Era, we all know that Adam Cole has that side to him. He's built himself a new stable of, heavy hitters. You've got Wardlow.
He's got himself a kingdom.
He's got himself a kingdom. You've got a Matt Taven. You've got a Mike Bennett. You've got Roddy Strong. I mean, what do we think? Undisputed Era versus Undisputed Kingdom. Where do you find the bigger faction?
Here's the thing. I don't hate it. I think Adam Cole is a natural heel. Like, I think he's good at it. I think it's funny. Like, not funny, obviously, but I do wonder how different it would have been if he didn't get hurt. I think that would have been a completely different thing. But because now he's sitting there and he's got these guys doing the dirty work for him. So I don't think that was obviously originally the plan. But, I liked his promo that he cut last night. I do think it's interesting, like the faction that is behind him. I love Matt Taven. I love Mike Bennett. Obviously, Roddy's his boy. But, seeing Wardlow in another faction as like the muscle, I don't know how I feel about it, because I just think Wardlow was so hot when he was on his own. He made the turn on MJF and he was so over. And I think they're trying to gain that momentum back. And I don't know if the story is going to end the same, right? Like, is he going to be the one to win it back from Samoa Joe possibly? And then Adam's like, all right, I'm ready. Give it to me. And he turns on Adam, and Adam's the bad guy and Wardlow's the good guy. Like, is that where they're going with it? Because I feel like, for me, a faction always breaks up to a certain degree because someone turns on somebody, right? Isn't that kind of how it always goes? And if Adam's going to be the bad guy, someone's got to be the good guy and be, the voice of the fans. If it's Wardlow again, I really, really hope they do it right this time, because I don't think they did last time. And it's a shame, because his look, like how he is in the ring, his muscle, like how, like as a wrestler, that's a guy that could be a star. I will say I love seeing Taven and Bennett like every week, because I think that they're an awesome team, and I think they're really good. And I thought the shit they were doing with the Next Strong stuff was hilarious. Like, I actually thought that was really getting over, and I think that's cool that they can do that and then turn around the next day and like be bad guys, because that's it's just a cool thing to see. And like, so I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see fresh faces like that. And then another team that came back last night too, Private Party, got a great, I don't know if you could hear it when you were watching it, because I know you were working at the same time, but Private Party returned last night, and the reaction in Jersey was like huge for Private Party. Like, it was a great reception for them to come back. And I just love that, because it's 2024. I don't want to see the same people all the time. And I think like it's going to make things interesting in the tag division. I really do. I think, there's the FTRs always, there's the Hardys always, but give me some young guys that you're building up, because you're doing it well with the women's division. You got the Julia Harts, the Sky Blues that you're bringing up. And like, the last thing I will say is Eddie fucking Kingston. He didn't even tell me he was going to win.
Oh man,
the Continental Classic.
How have we not talked
If you're
Eddie?
listening, Eddie, I know. I listen. This is what he does. I don't know if you heard my interview with Eddie last week. We basically just cursed at each other for 45 minutes. It's basically the best interview I've ever done in my life. Best interview Eddie's probably ever done in his life. But this guy, Saturday, I'm watching and I'm like, there's no way he's going to win. Like, he didn't even really talk about it, like blah, blah, blah. This fucker wins the whole thing. Okay? And then, like, I just can't. I can't. Even Wednesday, he won to go to the pay-per-view. And I was like, okay, whatever, it's him and Moxley, he's never beat Moxley, whatever. And then he beats Mox, and it's a whole thing. He's emotional. Everybody's emotional. And I'm like, Eddie fucking Kingston, man. I love him so much. And I loved seeing him last night. And he's got a match with Trent Barreto, which I think will be great. And this is cool. I want to see Eddie every single week now. Like, let him defend every week. I want to see a match from him every week. I would just want to talk every week. And I say this to him, and I said this to him in the interview, like, he doesn't realize how much people love him. That crowd when Eddie came out last night was
a tri-state area crowd. Almost like a hometown show.
Insane. Exactly. But I feel like he gets that reception almost everywhere. And he's like one of those where he comes out, the whole crowd's excited, and the whole crowd is like, they know it's going to be good. It's going to be entertaining. Like, and he just comes out in his sweats and he's like, "What's up? I'm cool."
New York Knicks hoodie. The Knicks won last night. I mean, it was Eddie Kingston. You've known me now for about a year, and I don't think I've gone probably 1 week without mentioning Eddie Kingston in some of our conversations because you know how much I love Eddie Kingston. I mean, like you said, the crowd loves him. When you, as a wrestling fan, you can relate to an Eddie Kingston, the king of the underdogs. Like he said himself. No better talker on the mic. No one that gets me more emotionally invested in AEW. I mean, to me, that is to me the one person I'm tuning in to see on AEW or Ring of Honor every week. And I honestly didn't think he was going to win either, just because of he's come so close so many times, and it just seems like maybe it's just not going to happen for him. But oh man, just seeing his reaction to winning the title and seeing the crowd just shower him with love, not just, in the arena, but on social media. And again, back on Dynamite. Again, if you haven't gone back, go back in our archives and listen to that interview. One of the funniest interviews I've ever got. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was cracking you guys up with how I was cracking up off camera. Obviously you guys couldn't see me laughing, but man, I was laughing the entire time. You guys were just literally trying to piss each other off the whole time.
It's amazing. And you can watch it on YouTube as well. And it's almost funnier to watch it on YouTube because if you want to see our reactions to each other, it's pretty insane. Listen to it and you can maybe think about it, but when you watch it, you're going to be like, this is absurd. And thank you so much for giving me all the positive feedback about it. I've gotten the most messages about that interview than like any other, about like they think me and Eddie should have a sitcom together. They want him on once a month. By the way, I told him all of this and he said, LOL, you wish. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, guys, but I could wish, I could keep hoping. You never know. Maybe if this podcast takes off, I could be able to like pay him and he can come on once a month and we can just have a sitcom together.
You wouldn't even need a laugh track. It would be all natural laughs.
No. We would just be laughing and cursing the whole time. So I'm glad you guys liked it because that's basically my life. And I do hope you realize like this is how I talk to them outside of my podcast. Like I want you guys to know I bring you in for these conversations as if we were all hanging out talking together. And that's what I want for this show. And that's why I appreciate you guys listening because, being a pro wrestling fan isn't always the easiest thing in the world, but we all are here for the same good cause of just making pro wrestling fucking cool again. And that's what I want to do. So I appreciate all of you listening. And I hope everyone has had a great new year. I hope 2024, Gabby AF is bigger than ever. Let's make this like show insane. Let me know what guests you want me to have on. Is there anybody you guys are chomping at the bit to talk to? Is there anything you want me to do a little bit more? Like, let me know. Hashtag Gabby AF, tag me in it. I'm always open to everything. We're just getting started, guys. It's like I said, it's only been a couple months, which I can't even believe, but I'm having the best time and I appreciate you guys listening. Let's make this the best year ever. Tony, as always, thank you so much for the time and we will be back next week. But until then, LYMNB and love you most, no backs.
It's about to get Gabby AF.
We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. It's nothing less, cause you rockin' with the best. Now we about to get Gabby AF.